necessary members is. Yeah. Wanted to say? Yeah. I believe there is 2 members online. Honorable Gillian, I believe you're online as well as Wendy Philander. Wendy?
Good afternoon, Chairperson and members. Yes, I am. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Honorable Gillian.
Good afternoon, Chairperson and honorable members. Yes, I'm online.
I still remember that familiar voice. Thank you for being online. For me, a very, very important meeting. I think we need to do justice to legal processes and things like that. And it's exactly what we're going to do this afternoon. And let me ask the members in the room just to introduce themselves for the record. I'm Dan Plato, Chairperson of the Social Development Standing Committee.
Chris Fry, member of this committee.
Thank you.
Good morning, Chair and everyone. My name is Rachel Van Voort, alternative of the Standing Committee.
Good morning, Chair and everyone. I am the Pans.
Good afternoon, Chair and everybody, honorable members. I'm Charles Jordan, and I'm the Chief Director for Children, Families and Vulnerable Groups within the Department of TSD. Thank you very much.
Good morning, Chair and honourable members. I'm Najwa Talib and I'm the Programme Manager for Foster Care at the Provincial Department of Social Development.
Thank you so much. Let me just say also for the record, with regard to the Children Amendment Bill, it was quite an exercise, and I think that is important. With the team, also with national government officials, the acting chief director and the legal advisor. I know he's an advocate, but I can't recall his name now, but you know whom I'm talking about. We were quite a team, a very good, active, formidable team. We worked very closely with the 2 national officials. And we visited the 4 regions. It was Cape Town first, it was Worcester, it was Caledon, it was George. And for the record, all the sessions and all the members, I think, will agree with me, was well attended. It was amazing. We do have the necessary pictures to show. I think the Caledon region, and maybe you will agree with me, was for me the one big highlight, because we had to bring in extra chairs. And it was a big hall and it was a full house. Lots of questions, lots of input. I did ask the question, anyone against the bill? The answer was no. It is just note our input. And I think that is the role of the officials and the legal people to do, of how to incorporate the input from the public, from the floor, into the bill, if necessary, if needed. And I think that's important. So from this side, where I'm sitting this afternoon, I want to say to all the regions, thank you for your presence. I want to say to the municipalities, the mayors, I think in George, we had the deputy mayor, the district's municipalities deputy mayor, we had councillors, lots of social workers, we had the police and other NGOs, CBOs attending. And that was for me a highlight is the learned people was there, even foster care parents, that sort of thing present, had given valuable input. And it's amazing that to note that they did study the bill. They did study the contents. They could dictate out of the documents in front of them their issues and pinpoint to the issue they're speaking about. But to all of them, thank you very much. Today is to ratify, and I need to note that we did receive some input. I think there is 2 pieces of input. I just want to highlight that. I think, is it Mr. Bendaza's input?
No, it's from Mr. Mastop.
Mr. Bar.
No.
Well, where's Marsdog? Oh, here it is.
This one from Mr. Mastop and this one from
Tanya. Tanya Bippert. If I pronounce her surname correctly. That is the one, and Marsdorp is the other one. So may I ask at this point in time, after we have done our work, the issue for us is to consider and deliberate on the negotiating mandate of the Children's Amendment Bill. The input from the legal advisors, I've mentioned that, and maybe I need to ask the learned people around the table. You're taking your input with regard to the work we have done and with regard to the input we received.
Everything?
Just in general.
Thank you, Chair. I think there's a lot of positivity about the amendment of the bill itself. As a department, I've mentioned in our regional meeting, as well as Ms. Talib also in the public hearings, we do support the bill. We also do see that the NGOs and the public in general or at large do support the bill because there's such positiveness in the amendments of the bill with regards to, for example, placement of children by families, taking the administrative burden away from social workers, not to renew court orders every 2 years, looking at long-term placements, according to the section 186, with regards to children being placed, say, from birth to the age of 18 years of age. Also, the whole issue of guardianship. That's also very positive for us. So I've even at the documents that we've looked at, the comments from the various NGOs that's been submitted and the Children's Law Centre that brought the original court order on foster care backlogs against DSD nationally and provinces. I do think, besides the fact that they find there's small little things that still needs to be supported. And I've looked at some of the comments, and we will this morning or afternoon, sorry, look at this and support it from DSD side, some of them that's been presented by the Children's Law Centre. But I think the other big thing is also with the public hearings and so forth is the general thing that the public experience. I think there's still always issues of direct operational things they need. And the bill was used as a vehicle where they could air their concerns and their flight of despair in certain situations, which I think is also a very good place for our public to make comments. And that was also a thing that we've picked up on cases and situations that was not even related to the bill. That was for us very positive to see those kinds of response and be aware of it. As a department, we need to be aware of every single thing. And then I think just a last thought from my side is also that I've also looked at some of the comments, which was a bit of concern for me from some of the NGOs that's made comments on this bill, indicating when we read it that we could see they did still not understand what the bill is about. For example, there's one, I think, Ikamala Bantu, that talked about removal of children and that DSD is overwhelmed with the removal of children, and that other organizations such as NPOs must also be strengthened to do that. But the truth of the reality is it's not only DSD that removes children. We have registered and designated child protection organizations already, over 120 of them in the Western Cape, that also has the authority to remove children. So it's not only DSD that's in that situation. But of course, it's also registered and designated ones. So there I could see, but okay, Kamalabantu maybe do not understand completely, but it's good. At least we could see their thinking process. And then I think the one positive thing for me, Chair, and I think it was something that came out also in one of our discussions before, as you as a standing committee, the concern about our budget cuts. So yes, the reality on the ground is that we have lots of vacancies of social workers. Due to the fact that our staff establishment was not fully funded, and they cut our compensation budget this financial year with 25 million rand. I've heard very positive news that it seems Treasury is willing to give us a lot of money for salaries, so we can proceed to appoint our social workers and social auxiliary workers and community development practitioners. So that news I got Friday afternoon. So it's something positive. I haven't seen the final amount, nor the HOD, but it's just something I would like to tip you off, that there's some positive that's coming through from Treasury, which long term will help us with these issues of the bill. Not only will it reduce our administrative work of our social workers, but it will also give our social workers then more time, if we've got more, to start looking at other casework that we always did not get there to on time. It could be adoptions. It could be things such as child abuse that we could put more focused areas and interventions in. Because right now, most of our social workers were concentrating just on foster care. So for the first time, Chair, in a long time, I feel very positive about Treasury's contributions that's on its way. So, yeah, thank you, Chair. Maybe a long-winded thing, but I think I had to say a few things.
Yeah, thank you for that input. Look, there's a saying that goes, and I think politicians will agree with me, wait until the fat lady sees.
Yeah.
Don't get too excited and too optimistic.
So you
and
see
that
it in
sort of thing.
writing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Listen, thanks for that. Look, I just want to say to the members, looking at the minutes of all the meetings, I'm not going through all the sets of minutes. You have seen it. You have seen the minutes. Monday, 10th of October in the chamber. Tuesday, the 13th of October, Worcester Indoor Centre. And then you've seen Caledon, the 18th of October, and then you've seen the 20th of October, George Civic Centre. I went through the minutes. I'm happy with the content and exactly what's being said. At almost all the meetings, the issues are similar. The issues with regard to shortage of social workers, I hope that will materialize, because that was the one outcry, even from the police at all of these sessions where they were present, and NGOs, not enough social workers. And I know, reading newspapers and see issues online, there's an awful lot of social workers unemployed. It will be a beauty if that could materialize. There's one or two hands, honourable member. You make up.
Yeah, thank you so much, Chair. Chair, I first of all, I must say, during your presentation in George, you sound like an advocate. You so at least I must say that you were very good in presenting the bill to that community. But nevertheless, I just need clarity, Chairperson, in terms of our program. I'm not sure, can we still make recommendations? I just need clarity, because I pick up something that I think I need to recommend.
I'm not sure. I think we can. I'm not.
This is the meeting for that, members. If members wants to raise issues or recommend something, they can recommend and the department will advise. And if it's in line with the bill, then it will be part of the mandate.
Must they do that now? Or
Yes, there is no
yes,
other time we must submit.
No other time.
We must submit the mandate
Do so,
today
please.
or tomorrow.
Thank you, Chair, for that clarity. I just want us to go to section 14 of the Children's Amendment Bill. I think it's clause 3, if I'm not mistaken. Section C, is it? Yes, yeah. What do you call it? Clause 14, sorry, clause 14. Clause 14, section. All of.
They got copies of the bill.
Oh,
There's it lying there. Okay. Well, I've got my copy available. Okay, you got it.
section 3.
Thank you. Okay, Honorable Windvogel.
Yeah, clause 14, section 3. Where there's a certain part that says that social services professionals and practitioners must visit a child foster care at least once every 2 years. Then they recommend it must change to annually. And if we think back of all the input from the community members, it's still too long. So I want to recommend, if possible, you are going to guide us twice a year, because that was the feeling from the public during our public hearings. Thank you, Chair.
Is that the only one for Honorable Bunce? Your hand stand more like that. Thank you.
Okay, thanks through the Honourable Chair to the Honourable Member. Yes, it's something that we will need to look at, and only when we've fully capacitated. I think the first thing is I fully agree that the 2 years was too long. If we look at this foster care bill amendment, about 70% of our 38,000 children in the system will now fall into the different system where they don't need to go through court every 2 years. So currently all 38,000, every 2 years we need to prepare documents, go to court, get approval for an extension for another 2 years. So with the changes of this bill, 70% of those cases, they are children that's been placed by families. So the fact that they are placed by families means now that we need to go and visit them once a year as prescribed now. So that we were 100% fine with. And we can also have a social auxiliary worker that can go and visit. Now, a social auxiliary worker is a professional that assists the social worker, and they also will have in the power to go and visit, check up, look at the food, look at the place, see if the child is okay, the basics, which then also frees the social worker up sometimes. So the 1 year was for us very positive. The twice a year thing, I'm going to be very honest, is still a lot for us at this stage. We will get to the 1 year, but twice a year is going to be a bit difficult unless all of our posts have been filled, that we've got enough staff to do that. So at this stage, that's why we as a department only at this stage supported only the once a year visit. But I think if the committee feels very strongly about it, then we will support you, then that can also be added, and then National Social Development with their legal advisors then can also consider that option. Najwa, you would like to add anything, or you think I've covered?
So you've covered it.
Okay, cool.
Okay, that is the response, that we incorporate your latest, I don't want to say submission, I don't know what is the word, input. Yeah, or recommendation, and if happy, National can then have the final say. They can say they are fine with it, or they can, if not,
Chair, can I just also add, with regards to the 2-year period, the recommendation from 2-year visits to 1 year visits, That was particularly for children in long-term placements. Those are Section 186 orders, and those children are in fairly stable placements because the courts do not recommend Section 186s in the Western Cape if those children are not in very stable placements and have very minimal opportunity for reunification with birth family or relatives. So those children are in fairly stable placements. Hence, previously we could visit them every 2 years. But now the amendment bill is saying, no, not every 2 years for those stable placements, once a year. Yeah, but we also hear the recommendation in terms of the visiting twice a year for the 2-year placements as well. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you very much. No other input. I just want to make 100% sure about the procedural correctness of what I need to do. I've went with you. You are okay with the minutes of the meetings we visit. The last one is the public hearing of the 20th of October. I've tabled that. Yes, my copy's in front of me. You have your copies. You're okay with that? That is done. And then the submissions we receive is quite, I must say, Nomonde have done sterling, Nomonde have sterling work to give us the submissions and also to say with regard to the bill itself. I must table the bill. That is part of the procedure. And I'm happy with the contents of the bill as it stands. We went through it at each and every session. You guys are happy with it, that we can table the contents of the bill as it stands, Honorable Windvogel?
Yes, Chair. I propose that we, what do you call it?
Table.
Table, not, adopt. Adopt the bill with the amendments, With the amendments. Yeah, that's my proposal,
Okay,
Chair.
yeah. Any seconder for that? Christopher? This is the amendment bill.
But we do have the matrix.
Yeah, no, we will get to the matrix right now. We are okay with that, with the contents as it stands. You guys will have to guide. You are the legal people and so on. That is done. And then let us go and work through the submissions as well. And I'm going to do it this way. I'm going to do it the autocratic manner, the autocratic way. I'm going to do it page by page. Is that the correct way to do it?
Yes.
Mr. Daza?
Chair, I suggest that you put the bill clause by clause from clause 1 until clause 15. And then that clause 14 where there was a proposal for an amendment, then that clause can be put with that proposal, then it can be adopted with that. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think in putting the bill, then you do it simultaneously with the submissions.
With the submissions.
So members can just look at both if there's any proposal based on the submissions, but those are merely supposed to be put by the committee itself. So members have given their input. Now it's the public has given their input. Now it's time for the committee now to consider the input. It's really up to the standing committee, and that will make the province mandate to the NCOP tomorrow.
Wonderful.
Thank you.
No problem with that. Okay, let's do it that way. Let's do it page by page. The Children's Amendment Bill. I thought I can do it at once as a whole and that sort of thing, but legally no. Yeah, let me do it page by page. I'm on page 2. There you see clause 1 on page 2. Okay, agree. On page 3 you see clause 2 or section 2, section 24. Okay, you see clause 3, amendment of section 45 of Act 38 of 2005. Yeah. And if you're looking at the submissions, you are happy with that. And clause 3, you are happy with. Clause 4 at the bottom. Okay. I'm doing it with both sections with the submissions included. Okay, section 5 or clause 5. That is on page 4. You okay with that? And we can look at clause 6. Okay with that, with the submissions. Clause 7. Amendment of section 115 of Act 38 of 2005, as amended by section 7 of Act 17 or 35 of 2016. You guys okay with that? Okay. Then I'm on page 5, amendment of section 156. That is clause 8. Okay. Clause 9 on the same page, page 5. Amendment of section 157 of Act 38 of 2005. I'm just glad with regard to one thing, we have dealt with these clauses thoroughly during our meetings. Clause 9 on page 5 is done. On page 6, amendment of section 159, clause 10, 11, 12, and 13. Anything you find unfamiliar? You're okay with that? Thank you so much. That. And then on page 7, the question or input by Honorable Rachel Windvogel, section 14 or clause 14, and then 15. Okay. That is it. Okay, then you see page 11, parliamentary procedure and that sort of thing, and that is why we are here this afternoon to give sanction to the parliamentary procedure with regard to the process where the bill must go to. Okay, you have agreed to that already, but for a second time, are you okay with the clauses? Are you okay with the bill as it stands? Okay, thank you very much. That is then done. Let me just see here as the last one. I think for the proceedings of the meeting, I think that is it. Nomonde, you're not happy?
Chair, okay. Now what the committee now must do is maybe go back to that decision now, decide whether to support the bill with, I think the decision to support the bill with an amendment, or, they must take that decision, and then you'll present the committee report, which Nomonde has prepared.
But we have dealt with the committee's report already now.
No, it was the submissions, Chair.
Is that the submissions?
Yeah, now the committee must report the bill, whether they support the bill with amendment. I think the decision to support the bill with amendment, with an amendment.
Look, with regard to the amendments, we approve the amendments as it stands, but to ratify the amendments, my understanding is that is not for us to do. That is for the NCOP to do and for the national officials to do. We deal with the process, with the submissions we receive, and here is the submissions we receive. But it's for us to ratify the submissions. We're happy with the submissions we receive. But to ratify and adopt the submissions as part of the bill is not for us to do.
No, Chair, we're suggesting that the amendments were done, the submissions were submissions by the public, and which the committee has gone through the clauses. Now the committee must decide whether to support the bill as it is. But I think there was a proposal
to adopt.
Yes, to us to support the bill. Yeah, the decision the decision must be whether to support the bill with amendments or not to support the bill or to abstain.
I think that was exactly what Honorable Rachel Windvogel was doing, supported by Honorable Fry. They agree with the bill as it stands, with the submissions we received or the amendments received, and for the bill with the submissions to be forwarded to another entity of government. That is my understanding. You are not happy with that as principal official.
Okay. No, from my side, Chair, what we are suggesting that there was some sort of a proposal. We thought it's an informal discussion, which means now after the committee has looked at all the submissions, which is just done, and all the clauses. Now, what is the decision of the committee? Now the committee must decide. Now, officially, because that was the member proposing. What about this? I'm proposing that instead of 1 year, be 2 years. Then the committee agreed. From my side, I thought it was just an informal arrangement. Now you have to take it, you must agree now formally to adopt that decision. That's
okay. That adoption for me was officially done, but it's fine if you want it. I don't know how official we can do it, but okay. As Mr. Dasa have said, are we agreeing to the contents, to the bill as it stands now with the necessary amendments?
We support the bill with the amendments of recommendation.
Christopher Fry, you second that. That's it.
In terms of the amendments now, which amendment are we going to forward to the NCOP?
My taking is with regard to the amendments we receive. I think then what I gather from the department agreed. We can, that is how I read the officials. That's why I'm saying our job is nearly done. I don't think any member have indicated that they are not happy with the contents of the submissions. I think we can adopt these submissions as well and forward the submissions to the next entity of state.
Sure.
Please guide us.
Chair, we have gone through the submissions ourselves. So the proposals that the organizations have made, in a lot of the places they've supported, and then in a few places where they've made additional comments and stuff that we looked at that's already been covered anyway. Or it was stuff that seems they did not understand the comments that they made. For example, the one example I gave it to the chair, but there's one example where they said, the one organization said, the removal of children is too much of a heavy burden on DSD alone. We must get NGOs to help us. But in reality, we've already got 120 NGOs in the Western Cape province that we've designated and registered that's helping us with child removals. So, for example, that's one example where they've made a comment in the submission which was not correct. Their assumption that they made based on. So we've picked it up with a few things, but going back, I think we are fine going back to the original bill with the amendments as been discussed. We support that in a totality, and we find that everything is basically being covered by these submissions additionally. In one or other way, we are covered. Thanks.
May I ask the principal officials, are you happy with that? Nomonde? Let's be clear. Look, let me just reiterate. I studied the contents of all the submissions and also the meetings we had. I'm clear in my mind we have done a sterling job as a committee. All the information is in front of us. We adopt the information, we receive the submissions and also the bill as it stands. To ratify everything finally is not for us to do. That is my understanding. It's not our job. We say this is our authority, our functional role as a standing committee of this provincial government. We have done that. We fulfill our obligations, and another entity of state must come and do their work. And then it's done as far as I'm concerned.
Okay, Chair. Let me the submissions of the public when we were putting the clauses. My understanding is that the clauses were put with the submissions of the public. So if there was any suggestion from the committee, it would have come at that time. Yeah. So the committee must decide now if they want us to submit the negotiation mandate with all the submissions, that these are the submissions. But the committee must take a decision on what are the proposals. Do you have anything that you want to suggest to the NCOP Select Committee when it meets tomorrow? You know, my understanding was that the suggestion which was agreed to by Member Venhoek was the ultimate recommendation to say that we propose this amendment, only one amendment. Unless And now it looks like the committee is saying, oh, we submit everything to the NCOP, they must decide. The committee has a right to propose an amendment on the bill. The NCOP needs about 5 provinces. If 5 provinces agree, then it will likely agree to it, you know. But it will also ask its national department if what is the view of it. So I thought that my understanding was that there's only one proposal from the Western Cape, is that is one on clause 14, you know, because the submissions from my understanding were generic. We have no problem with it. The department responded to it. They were responded to the satisfaction of the committee. But there's one proposal that the committee wants to propose to the NCOP Select Committee to consider, is that on clause 14 to change annually to 2 years. That was my understanding. So if I would proofread the report, it would say the Western Cape supports the bill with an amendment of clause 14.
Not with all the other inputs.
No.
Chair.
There's Wendy Philander first, honourable member.
Thank you very much, Chairperson. Just for clarity, I need some clarity on this. I do support the bill with the amendment made as proposed, Chairperson, but I just want to be clear. Are we saying that we are making or doing the Western Cape submission without the submissions made to the committee on the bill? Is it incumbent upon us as the committee to not include those submissions made, and as you rightfully pointed out on another level, either exclude or include them in the final draft? I just need clarity on that, Chairperson. Thank you.
When we respond now, the inputs of the public were meant for the committee to decide for today. So the public was trying to say to the committee, this is what we think of the bill. So now it is up to the committee to say, we take that submission, we agree with that proposal. And as I get it, it looked like members they agreed because they thought the submissions were generic and all the issues raised were responded to. There is no need to maybe include that as part of a proposed amendment on the bill. That's what I gather. But it's up to the committee. We can also submit the submissions to the select committee for its information on documentation. This is what the Western Cape will say. But as a committee, we propose only an amendment on clause 14.
My undertaking was with these submissions as it stands here, with what I've got here in my hand, that we forward these admissions as coming from the Western Cape public.
Yes, you can forward them, Chair.
That's what I mean. And that is part of, we can say it's part of the Western Cape's overall submissions. That is my understanding. Including the amendment made by Honourable Van Vogel. And that could be incorporated in the submissions as part of the Western Cape's recommendations.
That is also, Chair, up to the committee. We cannot say the committee, it must ignore that. Committee can decide to submit all the submissions received as part of the package of the negotiating mandate.
And we must remember here in Cape Town, the committee members, they give now input again today, only by Honourable Van Vogel, but in Cape Town, the members did, each and every party present at the hearing, did give their input anyway. They were not excluded from giving input. Bans?
Thank you, Chair. Chair, I actually think that there's no much of a difference in what we are saying. We are just saying the same thing in different contexts. Because we are not disagreeing. I think when we literally started the meeting, there was a suggestion that said we must read the bill with the amendments, we must incorporate it. I think the idea was to get an understanding of each inputs that were made so that we can attach it to the bill. That was my understanding. So, but when I see now there's a bit of a difference, in a nutshell, we are not agreeing. I think what the staff is trying to recommend to us is to say that if we have an outstanding bill that we want to highlight, it's not that this gets rejected. It goes with if we wanted to go with. But if there's a highlight that this province is saying that we want this, we are highlighting it in that fashion. So I think I want to propose that we adopt the bill with its amendments. If the feeling of the meeting is strong that we should have everything in here, because I think what they've done here, the public, is also to give sections. I think that's why they said, read it thoroughly and say section this of the community. Then we could have attached it the same way that Member Van Vogel, because Member Van Vogel is highlighting one. But if you open up the entire document, there are a couple of sections, unless we are saying we are pulling them one by one out. But we just adopted page by page. We didn't look into one by one. But either way, there's no crisis here. We agree on either way where the judgment is going to. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Honorable Bans, for that beautiful explanation.
Yeah. In addition, Chair, I think the department mentioned that they went through the public input, and it's in line with what are in the Act of the Amendment Act. So they went through, and it's just my understanding is actually they are supporting, and it's putting differently, but it's covered in the Act. So I will support the fact that we are saying with the new piece of clause 14 that we support the bill. And if we are saying we just send this in as
Western Cape
as a Western Cape not submission, but as information. Yeah.
Again, information submission, different terminology, but we need the meaning is exactly
just for information so that they can see the public view.
Exactly.
Yeah. Thanks, Chair.
Member Gillian, please. Honorable Member Gillian.
Yes, Chairperson. No, I was just listening, and I think that you were correctly advised, and you also are correct, Chairperson. Let's just agree on the outcome of this meeting. So tomorrow that we can just have the mandate and proceed with our meeting. I'm just satisfied in the way your meeting was conducted and your advice that you were getting. And then also I just want to make an input on the input made by your director this morning on the issue of the social workers, the budget that will come through for social workers. It was a very long fight for many years. And I think it will assist us, especially when this bill is to the unemployment rate of social workers, as well as to assist especially the NGOs that is struggling with working in this field, so that we can really take up that social workers that is out there who's not having a job, to also assist us and taking our hand in this fight. And I really want to commend the Western Cape Department and your committee chairperson. I did follow your public hearings, and it was very, very good. So I think tomorrow I can also be a proud member of the Western Cape when chairing this meeting, when we must finally take this bill and put it to rest so that it can become a good practice also to the community of the Western Cape. Thank you very much, Chairperson.
Honorable Gillian, thank you so much for your input. Thank you for following our meetings. Always a highlight for me if people follow what you are doing and is of the opinion we're doing a great job. It's exactly what happened, that we could do justice to the bill, that we could do justice with regard to public engagement and to get public input and so on. But also, I fully agree with you. My heart bleeds for the lots and lots of social workers that is unemployed. And I think all of us can agree with that. There's hundreds of them sitting at home, and if we can, like we say in the West, we ons praat kitchen English and that sort of thing, dat ons 'n lansie kan breek vir ons for our welfare workers. You understand fully what I'm trying to say. I think if the time is right, the time is now, we must get it done. Because that was one of the outcries. I think, honourable members, I am not going to labour this issue. As I've said, all of us have studied all the submissions. We have studied the minutes of the public hearings, and we're on par. We went through it now, and we can ratify this, that there was what is the correct English now? There was a firm recommendation from Honourable Windvogel and seconded by Honourable Christopher Fry, that we accept the bill as it stands, that we with the submissions attached to that, with the amendment raised by Honourable Windvogel, and that we can submit that to the NCOP, and with Honourable Gillian present online, and she agreed with that, listening to her input, that the Western Cape is in agreement with the bill, with the submissions, and NCOP can ratify it with their legal people and that sort of thing. Thank you so much. And I think on that note, I want to conclude that portion, this portion of the meeting. And the honourable members with a nod of the head agree with me fully. Thank you so much. Okay, that is then done. Now from the administration side, Honourable Windvogel, you don't need to be with us anymore. I think that portion of your presence is then concluded. Honourable Gillian, my apologies. Honourable.
I see Chairperson, you renamed me.
Yeah, no, we rename you quick. Thank you for your presence.
We are actually one.
But thank you very much, Chairperson, and all the best, and good luck with your work further.
Thank you so much. Okay. Yeah, that counts for the department as well.
Sorry, Chair, can I just ask, I see the minutes. Is it possible that the department also can get the minutes for our own record purposes of the public hearings? We would appreciate if that
you can
decision
forward
can be
it.
made. Yes, once they've adopted. Thank you so much.
You can forward it electronically to them. There's some lunch in front. You don't need to buy a pie. You can eat something else. A garage pie.
Thank you. Chair, are we after this?
Yeah, you can go.
Oh, okay, thank you. Important to be here for the rest. Thank you so much.
Come, honourable member. Can I speak to that? Honourable. The meetings at 12. No, we brought this forward 12 o'clock.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
Yeah, look, I just want to with the members here, I just want to repeat myself. If people have studied documentation and went through the documentation, and there's no lengthy further input into the documents, and if the final say with regard to the bill is not for us to do, our input is submitted, and we have done so officially, and the other side of government needs to make the final recommendation. Our job is done as a committee, and that was just my taking with regard to this bill. All the honourable members received the minutes of all the meetings and the submissions, even by last week. Nomonde was quite good in forwarding the stuff to us in advance. We had ample time to study, to read, and to bring any other submission or recommendation to us, and only Win Vogel have done that this morning. I'm happy with that. And it's a decision taken. We went on an excursion to regions in the Western Cape, and I can say to you, it was hard work, even for the members, for us to sit and to listen to national, to listen to the input and that sort of thing, for people to see us in full force as a Western Cape government. That was for me an absolute highlight. So no one can say we did not do our work and we did not do justice to the cause. We have done that. Okay, Nomonde, now you must assist me. A committee report on the annual report of the Standing Committee on Social Development. Are we there?
Yes,
Okay.
it's here in the. Yeah.
Okay, my bill. One side, another bill. Side, the submissions. One side. Okay. Here we are. Guys, you have received your package as well. And come again. You want to say? Yes, thank you. The minutes, Monday, start with the minutes, the 10th, yes, of the bill. Are you happy with that content? Yes. Tuesday the 13th. As I've said, Nomonde have done a great job. Yeah, the 19th and the 20th, we can adopt that. Yes. Okay, you want to adopt it one by one. Oh, you were not present. Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Let's do it then, the meeting Monday, 10th of October, those that were present.
I was not there.
No, man. Makambo, what's that? Were you not?
The
Yeah, in the council, in the chamber.
oh, there's an apology for member. It's not a member funds.
Okay.
The amendments.
Christopher Fry was there, Philander, and Van Vogel proposed.
Move to adopt, Chair.
Yes, thank you, Wendy. Okay, that is the 10th, and let's look at the 13th of October.
Who for adoption, Chair, was present.
Okay,
Support, Chair.
support Van Vogel. The 19th of May. That is Caledon. We
I
were all
move
at
to
Caledon.
I move
Fry.
to adopt.
Thank you. Dance.
I second, Chair.
The 20th of October. That is George.
I move for adoption, Chair.
Thank you.
Seconded.
Thank you, Andy. That is done. Okay, the submissions, Romeo Maasdorp, if we need to adopt that as well. Is that fine? I'm just afraid I'm going to miss adoption because the officials is about adoption. Okay, that is done. I think just right, it is the deputy mayor of the district municipality. Deputy mayor. It's not David's, it's another name. Look, it's in my notebook. I made a lot of notes. Nomonde is asking the name of the deputy mayor, but I think it's suffice for us to say the deputy mayor of the district, the George district municipality, was present at the meeting. He is the mayor that had given that beautiful input as well, if you can remember. But she wanted right for the purposes of the meeting. But I can't recall his name. Yeah, George District Municipality. Done. Thank you. Okay.
Chairperson,
Yes.
is it George or Eden District?
Is it
Okay, but
Eden?
Namonde can check that together with the name. It's fine, Chair.
You could not find it. I think George Stroke Eden District Municipality, then we are covered. Is Eden the district? George is local. Okay, let's say Eden District Municipality. I won't know. Eden. Yeah. You must remember Nomonde is Mrs. Deeglik. Oh, she wants us to do the right thing.
Yes.
Yeah.
You write down, like, what did we do?
Yeah. Yes. That is done.
Kind of, no, this is our spire. On the minutes. Yeah.
What you can do, Honourable Member, but now the two principal officials must assist me. You can still submit a written input, but you will have to do it today. Okay. Okay, good. Righto. I'm now with the annual report. Tuesday, the 18th of October. We were all present. I think there was no, yeah, there was an apology. Mrs. Fernandez, so the minister's table her apology. Shana Fernandez. There you see the resolutions, public input. On page 2, you see the resolutions. Under 3, the committee resolved, got that in the department, and the Department of Social Development. That was a firm recommendation. That was the big one, to have both departments present. And then also conduct oversight visit to the DSD office, service offices and funded NGOs in Langa. You guys should recall that. And then you see the recommendation, the department should consider allocating additional specially adopted 16-seater. Do you remember that vehicle issue? The 16-seater vehicles in Beaufort West and other rural areas for the transportation of children living with specifically disabilities. I think that was a big one. And then the department should thoroughly investigate if there are any victims of sexual harassment within the department. That was another one. I think Member Buns was keen on that one. And the department should develop a plan for the placement of social worker graduates. And I think I'm very pleased to hear from the officials there's more funds coming and that sort of thing. That's at least a positive out of our recommendations immediately. And then information requested. You see the information, detailed information on the number of children that were murdered. All our recommendations is very, very good recommendations. Detailed information on women and children who were abused and assisted, and then detailed information on the total number of NPOs in the province that are registered, unregistered and funded. A consolidated report on the service provided by the funded NPOs in the province. I think people honourable members was of the opinion many of the NPOs receive funding, but you can't see the outcome of their work in accordance to the money they receive. And some of them received, I pick up here and there, some of the NGOs receive even up to 450, 500,000 rand. And then you don't know what is happening. You don't see anything. So in conclusion, the Chairperson thank the members of the committee, the head of the department, departmental officials and guests for their preparation, input and responses to the questions posted by the department. And there you have it, resolutions, recommendations, information requested. Guys, you happy with that? Thank you so much. Sorry for me for reading a bit because I don't want members to come back to us to say we miss a critical element, we miss a critical point, that everything is captured. Thank you so much. A seconded person for the recommendation by Member Bunce, Van Vogel, thank you. Done. Okay. Standing Committee on Social Development, 6th of September. Briefing by the Department of Social Development on Older Persons Program. And on page 2, briefing by the Institute of Contemporary Research Africa on the role of ECRA in assisting the old age homes that are struggling to operate. Status update by the Provincial SASSA on social relief grant. That's on. Yeah, adopted. Did you slip up on that one? Did you miss that one?
The report.
That was Bunce and Van Vogel. On 6th of September. Guys, do you have a copy? You want a copy? I can give you my copy if you want to. You missed the 6th of September one. Okay, I give you a minute to go through it quickly.
Actually, Chair, I remember that one like yesterday because I was passionate about it. What I just want to check, we said that we will be calling in the department again because we didn't have enough time on the report of the older citizens. If that is captured on the recommendations, then I adopt because we didn't finish that day.
Schedule a follow-up meeting.
A follow-up, yes.
Yes.
Discuss the older persons.
I remember it like yesterday.
Yeah.
From 6.1.
Then I can adopt if that is there.
Look at 6.1 at the back quickly, please. Page 4. 6.1 schedule a follow-up meeting. Exactly what you are saying, Honorable Bunce, with the Department of Social Development and discuss this older persons program. Is that captured correctly? Okay. And then we have said also invite SASSA brief and work with SASSA on awareness programs on SASSA cards and loan sharks. That's very important. What is that? Were you present? Okay, okay. Okay, let me,
Which one?
Okay, got that.
The 23rd of September, I got the apology on the 24th. Yes, the day after the meeting. It's in part of me.
But okay, we can deal with that. At least I can say with our program, our outreach program, you were present at all the sessions. Yeah. Okay, but I need to do justice to this. Let me finalize it. We've dealt with the recommendation. There's 3 key recommendations, actually not recommendations, resolutions. And then the recommendation, the committee recommended that the Department of Social Development should come up with a definite figure of what the budget of old age homes should be. I think that's important. DSD to do costing of what the old age homes need versus what they have. That is the minutes of the meeting on Monday, 6th of September. You are there. Okay. And then the request for information, the committee requested that the Western Cape Provincial SASSA should submit to the committee a detailed breakdown on cases of SASSA loan shark not loan shack, I think it's loan shark.
Why is it?
There at the bottom. Why is it? Yeah. Loan shack, 8.1. Don't, Nomona, we're too quick for you today. You missed page 2.
No, I don't have. Oh, okay.
Yeah, she missed that page. So yeah, but you can take mine. There it is. I think it is loan shark, not loan shack. Okay. Yeah. Okay.
So it's adopted with amendment.
That one is done, adopted with amendments. Members, the 6th of September meeting, I want to get it right for the record. Vance, you recommend that we adopt?
Yes, Chair.
And Vin Vogel support. Thank you so much. Okay, the meeting of the 23rd August. At that one you were absent, Honorable Otra. Okay.
That's changed. She got it.
Accidentally sent, not, I don't know how, but made a mistake. They sent it to Johannes, the other guy. Instead of you.
Because they are also a member.
Fine, let's leave the one as absent.
But what you can do, if you want to make a correction, it's important for your office or yourself to forward the mail about your presence and that sort of thing, that it shows for the record. Yeah.
The apology, it was a day after the meeting.
Oh dear.
Which is the apologies for the meeting, for the records.
Of 2 days ago.
So I received the apologies for during the meeting, but yes, I received a day after.
Okay, we note that you receive it the day after, but it's fine. Okay, the meeting, the last one I have in my possession is the Tuesday, the 23rd of August. And as you can see, the was present and so on. And from page 1, briefing by the Department of Social Development on the funding, monitoring and evaluation of NGOs in the province. And you see page 2, the discussion, funding methods regarding DSD's monitoring and assistance to NGOs. And then you see on page 3, the committee deliberated on the presentation, and then point 3 requested information. The committee requested the Department of Social Development to provide it with the following information on or before Monday. It's today, 31st of October 2022. Breakdown of funded NGOs, a detailed information on how NGOs can apply for funding, detailed information on the number of NGOs that the department stopped funding from, number of, and then point 4, number of NGOs closed by order due to non-registration and compliance. I think that is a true reflection of our deliberation. You guys happy with the contents as it stands? Okay. What you can't recommend because you were not present. Well, the other honorable members will have to do the necessary. But I'm right, né? If you are not present, you can't recommend. Okay, Kambans and Windvogel and Frey,
Moving, Chair.
Wendy and Windvogel second. Thank you so much. Got that.
Happening.
Okay. Nomonde, you nearly missed the annual report discussion. You said you missed that one.
No, but you said it has been adopted.
It has been adopted
With no
officially with no amendments. Okay, that is done. I think that is it.
Yes.
That is the meeting. Thank you. Have a wonderful afternoon.
Thank you, Chair. Goodbye.
Bye-bye, Member Philan.